on the...
So you're looking into that one?
Yeah.
All right.
Goed, terug at tafel, back at the table with a new guest. Could you please introduce yourself?
Sure. My name is Ben Ha. I am the founder and former CEO of the Cheeseburger Network, and also the co-founder of Circa, which is a news app.
And what do you do?
So I'm currently a free agent. I am not doing anything other than traveling the world. So I'm spending about a year learning about the rest of the world and getting new ideas. I'm about to start my next company, so I'm trying to figure out what that is.
So what happened to your former company? You sold it?
No, I actually stepped down as CEO. I spent 8 years building the business as a new, very good CEO, and so I decided to find something that would be more creative, more challenging for me, and so 2 months ago, I left my job, which is pretty crazy.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's exciting.
So what made you do that? Did you turn a certain age?
Sure. Yes, I think they call it a midlife crisis. No, for me, there came a time when I consider myself a creative person. I'm not an artist, I'm not a musician, but I consider myself somebody who wants to build things. And after a while, when you build a business, it's really more about fine-tuning and growing the business instead of actually creating something new. There's so much exciting stuff happening in the world. I have great investors, I have a great executive team. I trust them to run the business, I trust my investors. And so for me, I want to do something that is more fulfilling personally. And building a new business is that for me. It's not about a non-profit, but it's about building a new business.
Yeah, because you have people who are really good at, well, doing something and doing it for a long time, and people who always looking for the new thing.
Right. That's right.
And you're one of the last?
Yeah, so Peter Thiel, the investor, has a book called 0 to 1. And the idea is that going from 0, nothing, to 1, which is having a product that is somewhat successful, having product market fit, is a very different skill set than taking a business from 1 to 100, right? Yeah. I'm a 0 to 1 person. I am not the 1 to 100 person. I'm happiest when I'm doing 0 to 1, and so I accept that, and so I need to design my life. I want to build a life and friends and a system around going from 0 to 1.
Yeah, and what's the good thing about going from 0 to 1? What's the exciting bit?
So 0 to 1 is all about tackling failure. It's all about understanding how you can try out new ideas as quickly as possible, figure out if something works with the market. It's that initial spark of an idea down to launching a product and making it successful. So it's very chaotic. It is very exciting at the same time. And that's what really drives me.
Yeah, and when you look back at your company, well, the company you left now, this period, how did it start? You thought, well...
Sure. So I knew this guy in Hawaii over the internet who had this cat picture website called I Can Ask Cheeseburger. Yeah. And that's where the company name comes from. I purchased that site. I either bought or created other websites that have become famous since then.
Yeah, but why did you buy it? Why did you think, well, this is money, this is going to be my business?
So I had a job I hated. I didn't like this job I had. It was paying me good money, but I decided that I wanted to do something more fulfilling. At my heart, I want to be an entrepreneur, a successful entrepreneur. So I left that job. Yeah. And what I tell people is, being comfortable is the enemy of innovation. You must put yourself in an area where you're not comfortable, where you are uncertain of whether you'll be successful or not. It's no fun to play a video game where you know you're going to win, right? You must push yourself to a point where you're a little bit challenged, and you have to keep doing that. And for me, entrepreneurship is that challenge.
Yeah. So could it have been anything where you put your teeth in, or well, do you have something special with cats or animals or?
I can tell you, I have nothing special with cats. When I started out, I knew nothing about publishing. No. I have a degree in journalism, but that doesn't make me a publisher. No. Some people equate that, but I've been, people have made up a narrative that says, oh, Ben had a journalism degree, so he could do this. I'm not sure that that's true. What I found out was that I enjoyed what I was doing. I could affect change. I could create things. I could try out new ideas. While it wasn't something that I thought about doing, it was something that I quickly learned to enjoy. Now, you can do a business where you're not passionate about. That's difficult. I was lucky that I found something that I was passionate about that I could also learn to be good at.
Yeah. So now you've left this all behind.
Yes.
Now you started anew. Will it be something in digital media again?
Probably not.
No?
So I've done media, I've done multiple companies in media now, and I think the idea here is that I'd like to do something where I can sell something directly to a customer. So that usually...
So make something.
Yeah, well, maybe not
Product?
hardware. It could be software, it could be service. But I want to have one customer base that I can really help, and I want to create products where they pay me directly. So that usually is not media, sometimes it is.
Yeah.
So I'm not ruling it out, but chances are I want to make a craft. I want to build, whether it's software or hardware.
Yeah, so something completely different.
Yeah, I mean, might as well. Like
Yeah.
I'm not interested in becoming really good at one thing. I want to live a life where I have different experiences.
Yeah. So does it also mean that you think, well, digital media, it's okay, but it's...
Digital media is entering a very, very interesting and very diverse phase. So you look at television and how digital subscription networks have created an incredible boom in how TV programming is done. You look at devices and how mobile and wearable and virtual reality are creating environments where media professionals can create a wide array of really interesting content.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a fascinating time to be alive in media because this is really the golden age of digital media. So I think it's going to be fun to watch, but I'm not going to be doing something in it.
No, but then you leave it at the high.
Sure, why not?
You leave it at the better time than when you started, probably.
Yeah, and part of the challenge here is that I know a lot. I don't know that I know enough to build another successful business, but I like the idea of having a direct relationship with the consumer. Part of the challenge of media today is that you have to deal with multiple parties, multiple constituents, and sometimes their needs are in conflict with one another.
And what parties are you?
Consumers, advertising, software, networks, platforms, and they're not really helping each other.
Yeah.
And so I don't like playing referee.
And that's what you had to do more and more?
I think you have to do more and more of that. So you have to, create a video, then you have to find an advertising partner and sponsor, and you have to make a video that appeals to the sponsor and the audience, and then you have to make the video appeal to the network that's going to distribute the content. Too many cooks in the kitchen. Right? I want more control over what I create. Yeah. And if digital media lets me do that, where I can have subscribers that pay me for my content, then I'm more interested in that.
Yeah. So more like, a YouTube?
Well, that's so as a hobby, we're making travel videos.
Yeah.
So we're actually creating content as we go from place to place. So we were just in Tokyo, we were in Alaska, we were at Burning Man Festival in Nevada, now we're here. We were in Switzerland, and so we're actually creating content around where we go, and I've never really edited video before. Yeah. So I'm starting from the bottom. I think I have 83 subscribers on YouTube, but I'm spending lots of money making video because it's fun. Yeah. I don't mind starting from the bottom.
It makes me think about someone I used to know, John Peel. He was a DJ, and he had a DJ at the BBC Radio, and he had a great audience there, lots of people. But he also made tapes. He sent to the English Navy ships, and he said, well, and once in a while you get a letter from someone on one of these ships who sends you a letter, and that's even more fulfilling than this whole audience. I can imagine that. Well, doing this for 83 subscribers can be really fulfilling as well.
It is. I answer to no one but myself and the people who care about what I do. Yeah. That is a definition of freedom. Yeah. Sometimes it's overwhelming. Sometimes it's crippling because you have so many choices. But that's part of the entrepreneurial process, is to narrow down the opportunity that matches your passion and your skill set the best. Yeah. And this freedom you lost along the way when you were in this big digital. Sure, it's not necessarily a bad thing, but you have responsibilities. You have set a track, and you have to follow that road and that strategy.
And people expect things of you, and
that's right. And I'd much rather explore.
Yeah, yeah. So, on to a new product. Do you have any idea yet?
So, part of this year-long journey around the world is that the first half will be spent thinking about the problems and the opportunity. So what are the top 5 greatest technological changes that are coming in the next 5 years? Is it self-driving cars? Is it drones? Is it human DNA data? I want to know and understand how those things will change the world. The second half of the world tour will be about finding a solution and finding a business around those, at least getting an idea around it. But the first half, this is a process. Yeah. This is not just random. I've seen too many of my entrepreneur friends decide to go and travel in the world only to be back 2 months later going, I found an idea, and they didn't really spend the time.
And they start working again, and before you know it,
they're tired, and they're not passionate about it. Yeah. So I want to spend this year decoupling myself from being an entrepreneur, but more of an analysis of the world by experiencing what is actually happening around the globe.
Yeah, and does it really have to be something meaningful?
I would like it to be meaningful.
Yeah.
But part of the journey is what I find meaningful may change. Because you can't travel the world and not have it affect who you are. Mm-hmm. And so you have to be open to the idea of meaning being different than what you started out with. Yeah. I think a lot of people in the early years of their entrepreneurship find meaning in having money, because money means independence. Mm-hmm. But at a certain point, you realize that money only gets you so far. That if you only have a few years left in your life, that what you're trying to figure out is impact, or maybe being close to your friends. That purpose changes. And so this is part of a reinvention process. And that means removing all the bells and whistles, all the sacred cows, and getting down to what do you really care about.
So how far are you in this process?
We are 70 days in out of 350.
Okay.
Yeah.
And now you're here in Amsterdam. Where to next?
We're off to Italy.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're going to be spending about a week and a half in Italy, all over Italy, mostly northern Italy.
So do you have the whole journey planned already?
We have it planned out till about end of January, but we keep adding new things at the end. So we've got some big adventures, riding a motorcycle from Vietnam to Myanmar, for example, going to Cuba. We're trying to add Africa now to the end of our trip, things like that.
Okay. Well, I'm really looking forward to seeing what the outcome of this is.
You can follow me on facebook.com/Benhuch, BENHUH.
Oké, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Oké, tot zover. Voor mensen die live kijken, straks over een half uur weer een nieuw interview. En als je on demand kijkt, allemaal komen ze online, dus check it out.